evening and welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I'm Tamiru Nimsat. Let's have a look at the headlines. Sri Lanka implements major credit reform to strengthen financial system. Price pressures build as inflation nears medium-term target. News in detail. The Credit Information Bureau of Sri Lanka, together with the Central Bank of Sri Lanka and the Finance Ministry, introduced mortgage of movable assets by rolling out major legislative reforms. Under the Secure Transactions Act, CRIP has set up a secure transaction registry with technical assistance from the International Finance Corporation of the World Bank Group in order to establish a strong and effective credit infrastructure in the country. The STRA is a statutory body established by the Secure Transactions Act to promote the interests of the national economy by facilitating and participating in the regulation of secure transactions in movable property in compliance with the provisions of the Act. The STR is an electronic database, also called as Register of Security Rights in Movable Property or Register, implemented and maintained by the Credit Information Bureau of Sri Lanka. The first objective of the registry is to notify parties about the existence of security interests in movable property. Secondly, the system establishes the priority scheme for creditors by facilitating registration of security interests in the register. It also provides a platform for creditors to conduct searches on the database to find out any prior interests in the movable property pledged by the debtor as collateral for a loan.
Secure Transactions Registration Authority, in collaboration with CRIB, has developed an electronic register for lenders to register their security rights, and this event represents a major milestone in Sri Lanka's effort with the launching of the above fully fledged securities transaction registry system designed to enhance access to finance for underserved sectors of the economy, particularly MSMEs, and to serve as a cornerstone for promoting collateral-based lending supported by movable assets. The types of property that are generally treated as movable collateral covers properties such as machinery, equipment, changeable properties such as harvested crops, livestock, intangible property, accounts receivable, deposits, license rights, payment instruments or documents, promissory notes, trust receipts, bills of exchange, stock certificates, warehouse receipts, etc.
STRA Chairman Chaminda Bandara further explained the significance of the newly introduced service and how it would assist for issue-free transactions. The launching of the STRA took place this morning in Colombo, attended by Treasury Secretary Dr. Harishna Surya Peruma, Central Bank Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, and several other dignitaries.
Under this system, a lender who offers credit to the debtor taking any movable property as collateral which belongs to the latter would register his security interest in the register upon execution of a loan transaction. In this case, creditor will not take possession of the goods but only legally enforces his security interest over the asset and will secure a legal right to dispose the said asset in case of default. It is in the best interest of each lender to use the registry to ensure that collateral are free of prior security interests or encumbrances registered by another party before providing any credit facilities. A well-functioning system of secured lending launched today will facilitate to deepen financial services market by making credit available to a far wider range of firms and individuals.
Central Bank Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, addressing STRA launch this morning, said that the STRA represents a major milestone in Sri Lanka's journey towards a modern, inclusive and secure credit infrastructure facilities. Governor Veerasinghe further highlighted that it would definitely empower the businesses, financial institutions while supporting to the broadening of the country's economy.
I think why this is important, especially when we look at some of the issues that we have been facing in the financial inclusion, especially in terms of access to credit. We all know in Sri Lanka, the access to credit has been uneven across the sector, especially when you look at the MSMEs, SMEs, and also corporate and large creditors. This distribution has been uneven, mainly due to some of the externalities and rigidities in the market. So this is one of the exercise, working together the CRIB and also the SGRA, a new institution, This is a nice example of two institutions working together to address some of the weaknesses in the system. For example, when you look at this overall credit growth, credit disbursement into the economy, basically credit to MSMEs and small businesses. Although their share is large in the economy, their relative credit access is relatively small.
Stay tuned. We will return after the short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. The Colombo Consumer Price Index has shown a continued upward trend, with headline inflation accelerating further in October. The latest inflation data was released by the central bank recently. Headline inflation measured on a year-on-year basis increased to 2.1% in October, up from 1.5% in September, indicating a steady convergence toward the central bank's 5% target. The rise was driven by increases in both food and non-food categories. Food inflation accelerated to 3.5%, while non-food inflation doubled to 1.4%. The core inflation, which reflects underlying price trends by excluding volatile items, also edged up to 2.2%. On a month-to-month basis, prices saw a marginal increase of 0.07%. The central bank projects this gradual acceleration will continue in the coming months, supported by appropriate policy measures to maintain economic stability. Sri Lanka's current account balance has recorded a deficit for the first time since August, ending a run of 8 consecutive monthly surpluses. The central bank released the external sector performance report for September recently. The September deficit is estimated at $182 million, a reversal driven by a significant widening of the trade gap. Goods imports surged 24.5% to cross $2 billion, heavily influenced by $286 million spent on vehicle imports. While goods exports grew a healthy 12.5%, it was not enough to offset the import bill, resulting in a $910 million merchandise trade deficit. Despite this monthly setback, the cumulative current account for the first 9 months of the year remains in a strong surplus of $1.86 billion, indicating the broader trend remains positive. Miss Universe Sri Lanka 2025 Lihasha Lindsay White has officially departed for Bangkok, Thailand to represent Sri Lanka at the 74th Miss Universe pageant. Crowned in July this year, Lihasha has made an impressive transition as she sets out to represent her country among delegates from over 80 nations. Miss Universe pageant is one of the world's most prestigious international beauty events, and the 74th Miss Universe pageant will be held later this month in Bangkok, Thailand. In the lead up to her departure, Lihasha has undergone extensive training with two renowned international mentors, Indonesia's Putra Pasrela and Philippines' Michelle Pathiak. Lihasha carries the Sri Lankan flag with pride, ambition and dedication, embodying the values of excellence and representation that define the Miss Universe Sri Lanka organization.
I'm so excited and I can't wait to see what's going to happen when I go to Miss Universe. My advocacy is showing love, compassion and care to those who feel unseen, especially abandoned children and animals, because I believe that a little change and a little care would change someone's life forever.
Stay tuned for the stock update. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on positive notes today. The All Share Price Index gained by 123.47 points to close at 22,928.31. The S&P SL20 gained by 38.49 points to close at 6,252.4. The turnover was of 5.7 billion rupees and over 158 million shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. That's all our news for today. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. Take care and good night.